Let's take a ride along in Project Lena. Hello once again and welcome to the Prince Magnum Channel, where hot rodding and romance do coexist. I'm your host, Prince Magnum, and this is a special do-it-yourself budget hot rodding episode. Real quick disclaimer before I dive too terribly deep in. I do wear corrective vision glasses, and but because of the Prince Magnum Channel, I have to wear the sunglasses, so to kind of keep my face covered, because I am a member of Alcoholics Anonymous, and I'm trying to keep up, basically do justice there. But that being said, if you have vision issues, do me a favor, drive safe, wear your corrective vision glasses and drive safe out there, because a lot of you out there can't drive. Which brings us to today's topic: automatic transmissions. Now, I briefly talked about, I talked at great length in one of my last videos that driving manual makes you a safer driver, and that sort of thing. That they're longer lasting, but some of you out there are going to insist, well, because I can't drive stick, I'm going to go ahead and buy the automatic, and that's fine. You're welcome to. But a lot of you out there mistreat your automatic, so we're going to talk about that in this video. Right now, I'm actually on my way to St. Joe Park to do some community service, which that's a subject in itself. But anyhow, back to the topic at hand. Most people today mistreat their automatics, and I'll be the first to I've seen this happen quite a few times over the years, and I'm sure there's a lot of us in the hot rod community that'll vouch for this. How many times have you all seen this, or how many times have you done this? You'll watch people jump in behind the wheel, they'll fire up their car, they'll throw it into reverse, they'll back up, and before they come to a complete stop, they're throwing it in drive. Folks, unless you have a Power Glide transmission from the 1960s, don't do that. I don't want to see you do that, because basically around the time that we started seeing C4 automatics, C6 automatics, 350 turbos, 400 turbos, and on all the way up to modern day automatics. If you did that at a high RPM, you would blow up your automatic transmission. It was really nasty. It'd make a horrible noise, and usually your car did not move after that because your transmission was toast. I still see a lot of you people out there doing that at low RPMs, but if basically if your transmission will come apart doing something like that at a high RPM and blow up that one time, what do you think will happen if you do it at a low RPM? It's not going to happen right away, but you are prematurely tearing up your automatic. Okay? You're shortening the lifespan. And the lifespan of an automatic is about 7 to 8 years in modern vehicles. Which is a joke. Okay? So, if you want to shorten the lifespan of your vehicle, by all means, go right on ahead and keep doing that. And if you really want to shorten it, go ahead and do that at a high RPM. It'll be fun that one time, I promise you, okay? I see a lot of you doing it. If you want to make your automatics last, you quit doing that crap, okay? And this is one that hasn't been covered yet, for in the hot rod community by the car enthusiasts, okay? It'll be covered by gearheads like myself, because I see people doing it all the time. Side note, I actually had an ex that did that in the car known as Old Gold, my 77 Oldsmobile Delta 88. She did that one time, and I told her, if you ever do that again, we're through. I was going to break up with her right then and there for trying to tear up the car that I was working on, because if she had no respect for what I was working on and the work that I was doing, then she didn't have respect for me, okay? And if she didn't have respect for me, then I didn't need to be with her, and that's just the way it is. And you'll find that that's a commonplace thing. She was notorious for blowing up cars anyhow. But anyhow, onward and upward. Back to maintaining automatics. There's a lot of you out there that do not do routine maintenance to your automatics. So there's a lot of you out there that buy automatics that don't do routine maintenance, period, to your vehicles. You'll go by what the owner's manual says, and that gives you a good idea. But the owner's manual will basically kind of give routine maintenance lip service. Okay, there's a lot of, so when it comes to your automatics, you do even less. As long, you might top it off every now and again. A lot of you don't. How many times have I seen people with automatics that, oh, I think transmission's done, I think it's done. Really? And then you pull the dipstick, it's low. It's so low it's not even reading on the dipstick. Routine maintenance is, you guys neglect your automatics. So this leads to, again, premature wear and tear, and then you wonder why the damn thing's blowing up on you. Again, if you want to shorten the lifespan, ignore what I'm saying, okay? It's just common sense. Maintain your vehicles. For the record, those of us in the hot rod community, it used to be in the old days, if you asked us what we thought people neglected the most on their vehicles, we might name off one or two things. Today, the list starts and it doesn't stop. I promise you, you'd be surprised on what, but automatics are right there at the top of my list. Automatic transmissions. People neglect them. And the newer they get, the more they neglect them. Which brings me to number 3 on my list. Those of you who do maintain your automatics do it wrong. Now, I don't know why the manufacturers all these years have continued to put transmission pans on their on the transmission that don't have drain plugs. I don't know why they continue to do that. This started way back in the day, and they still do this stupid crap today. I don't know why they continue to do it. A lot of people, I still scratch my head at this horse crap. Why in the heck they continue to do this? Now, some of us today will take our automatics, the older ones, and we'll drill a hole in it, put a drain plug in it, problem solved. We could take care of it better, and some of us will even go so far and put a remote transmission filter on our automatics. Most people today with newer cars will not do that. So they have to rely on, the old school maintenance of maintaining their automatics. What do I mean by that? Well, that's kind of an easy one. Most people today, what they will do is they'll take their automatics over to a shop. They'll have it hooked up to a machine, and they pump all the old transmission fluid out and have new pumped in. Folks, those of you who do that, you just got ripped off. Okay? You just got ripped off. And in most cases, you're paying a lot of money to have them do that, to be ripped off. Okay? Why am I saying you got ripped off? Well, you changed the fluid. Well, real quick, let me just put it like this. Would you take your car in, have the oil changed, and not have them change the filter? I would hope you wouldn't, because you still got a dirty filter in it. Well, inside your automatic transmission is still a dirty filter. What has to be done, no question about it, bar none, if you don't do this, then you're getting ripped off when you have maintenance done. You need to drop the transmission pan, drain all the fluid out, which when you drop the pan, that is not an issue. You'll be fine there. You drain all the transmission fluid. Remove the transmission filter. Clean all the nasties out of the transmission pan. Put a new gasket in place. Put the new filter in place. Bolt everything back in and refill it to the factory specs. Okay? And technically, the factory specs in this particular case, I don't care if you can measure it when it's hot or hot or cold. Do it while it's hot. You fill it up, start it, let it get to operating temperature. You may even have to drive it around the block. Pull it back in, pull the dipstick, check the level, and top it off as need be. Do not, if you don't do it any other way, you are asking for trouble, okay? If you don't do this, you will blow up your automatic prematurely. This is why the automatic in Project Lena is still going 14 years later when the average expectancy is 7 to 8 years. So it is feasible to make them last. By the way, the one that was in Project Vera is still going today. It's in a different vehicle, but it is still going today. Okay? It's been pulled. To my knowledge, it's in some Ford pickup truck and still doing what it does best. So, and I know some of you say, well, Prince Magnum, that's an old transmission. It was built with the idea of lasting forever. Yeah, and it's easy to blow them up too. So again, I don't need to tell you all that you need to take care of your transmissions. Okay. Something else that I see a lot of you doing. Okay. When transmissions start acting up, and start showing signs that they're starting to wear, you ignore it. Another one that I see you all doing, overfilling them. That's just as bad as not keeping them full. That's as bad as neglecting them. Don't do that. If you ever do overflow an automatic transmission, it's really easy to fix. There's siphoners that you can use to siphon it out, just like you're siphoning gas. There's an old one. If you can get your hands on a syringe, hook it up to a hose and just syringe it out. I've done that before. So take care of your automatics. They'll last you a while. If you don't want to take care of them, you might want to consider getting yourself a manual transmission. They require less maintenance. They can be more expensive to replace, but maintaining them and fixing them is actually relatively simpler and cheaper in the long run than an automatic. But if you insist on your automatic, please follow these steps. Take care of your automatics, because if you don't, you will blow them up, okay? You will blow them up, and it'll be your own fault because you didn't listen to good old Prince Magnum or the other people in the hot rod community, okay? That's just the way it is, okay? We're getting close to the tournament for St. Joe Park, so I really don't want to ramble on too terribly much longer. If you like videos like this where, I kind of fill you in on some, kind of some do-it-yourself budget hot rodding stuff, from one of the project cars, leave a like, and leave a comment, a positive comment in the box below. If you're not subscribed to the Prince Magnum channel and an avid watcher, you're kind of missing out, because right now we're actually going through kind of a restructure. Kind of have to, because of the crap that YouTube, once again, messing with its creators. It's really going to come down to the folks. It's really going to come down to where the creators are really going to have to hit YouTube where it hurts. And I know how we're going to have to do that, and I might see about starting to get other creators together to do this. But anyhow, we're kind of having to restructure, so you're going to be missing out on a lot of the changes in this restructure. So you might want to hit the bell icon. To all the haters out there, keep mouthing. I'll make fun of you soon enough. Okay? I already did that in one video that I'm working on right now. Kind of made fun of one that, I've kind of put off for the last couple of years, but, he had it coming. Okay? You're like, no way Project Spirit could get that. Fuck you, asswipe. Sorry for my language. Again, haters, I have no problem coming back at you guys, okay? And it usually turns into where they become, they become YouTube stalkers. It's actually hilarious. No, I will not go out with you unmarried. Usually you're all the wrong gender. That's another subject for another time. As usual, brings us to the usual spot. Get out there and work on a project. Don't care what it is, just do something with yourself. Idle hands and a creative mind, they don't go well together. Make horrible bedfellows. If you have a sweetheart, sweep her off her feet. Do something special for her today. Plan on doing something special for Princess Faye. And as always, for all of you out there, if no one out there has told you that they love you, Prince Magnum does. God bless you, and have a happy 24. Thank you.